Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my session. This is Muhammad Aminul Islam Ujjal, Vice Principal, Major General Mahmud Hassan Adarsh University College, Tangail. Today, I'll discuss degree of comparison part 2. It is not possible to complete in a single session, so I have divided the discussable matter into two parts, and last day I discussed part 1, and today I am going to discuss part 2 of degree of comparison. Firstly, I'll discuss the rules of turning superlative degree to comparative degree. But before that, we should know something about what superlative degree is and what comparative degree is. And here I have written superlative adjective is applied in the sentences when a single thing or a person is compared with every other member of that group. That means superlative, super. We usually use the word super. That means best, unique, or the best thing, the most attractive thing. So superlative is used among many, and here, so this has been defined in this way. Superlative adjective is applied in the sentences when a single thing or a person is compared with every other member of that group. That means in a group may be a society, even a group broadly may mean a town or a country, even the whole world. So that group. Suppose Einstein is the greatest physicist in the world. Einstein is the greatest physicist in the world. So that means he has been compared with every physicist all over the world. So group means in that sense. And on the other hand, comparative adjective is used when a comparison is done between two things, two parties, two groups, maybe two persons or two things. This comparative adjective is used when a comparison is done or made between two things. But on the contrary, in the case of superlative, a single thing or a person is compared with every other member of that group. So this is the difference between superlative and comparative degree. Thank you very much, and let me discuss the rules one by one. First, I'll discuss rules of transforming superlative to comparative. And here, dear learners, this is also a part of transformation of sentences. Degree of comparison is also a part of transformation of sentences, So today, superlative to comparative. Superlative to comparative. Rule number 1. Rule number 1. So SD, superlative degree, the abbreviated forms, superlative degree, containing the discussion, the acronyms or the abbreviated forms. So please try to understand the matter. SD means SD the full form of HD is superlative degree. Subject plus verb and superlative to comparative. That means we'll have to not HD here, CD, comparative degree, CD, subject plus verb plus CD form of the SD form. CD form of the HD form. Suppose best, better. Best is the superlative form and better is the comparative degree form, comparative form. So you'll have to follow this form, and next then any other plus rest part of the given sentence. Dear learners, you see subject plus verb. This is the construction of comparative degree. Subject plus verb plus CD form of the HD form plus then any other rest part plus rest part of the given sentence. Let us try to discuss an example. Suppose SD, he is the wisest man in the village. Here, as the relationship between superlative degree and comparative degree is favorable, that means if the superlative degree is in the affirmative form, comparative degree will be also in the affirmative form. If it is negative in negative form, that will be in the negative form. But you'll have to follow there is the relationship between positive and comparative opposite and also positive and superlative opposite. If positive is affirmative, comparative will be negative. If positive is negative, comparative will be affirmative. In the same way, if positive degree is in affirmative, superlative will be negative, and if positive degree is in negative, superlative will be affirmative. So, but between superlative and comparative, their relationship is a friendly relationship. That means they don't have any opposition. They always remain in the same form: affirmative, affirmative, negative, negative. Okay. He is the wisest man in the village. According to the structure, subject CD, he is. But here, as it is superlative degree, the has been used, but the article, definite article, the has been used. But when we'll make it comparative, we'll have to omit the article, definite article. So he is, and as it is wisest, It is in superlative form, but you will have to turn this into comparative form. He is wiser. He is wiser than any other. He is wiser than any other man. Any other man in the village. Here you see, he is the wisest man in the village. But here, he is wiser than any other man in the village. This is the construction of comparative degree, but you'll have to follow another thing. If here we find then all other men or of all, if we find there of all, we'll have to change a little bit. The rule will have to change a little bit. Yeah, I'd like to give you another example of this this rule. Of all. If we find this find this in superlative degree of all, in that case we'll have to use then all other, then all other. If we find of all in the superlative degree, we will have to use in that case in making comparative, then all other. Let me give you an example. SD. Prince is the tallest of all students in the college. Prince is the tallest of all students in the college. Here you see, of all students in the college. So if you find in this way, in the superlative degree, we'll have to use then all other. Let us try that. CD. Prince is taller than all other students in the college. Prince is taller than all other students in the college. Let us move to next rule. If the SD superlative degree includes the expression one of the, in that case In that case, in CD, we'll have to use than, most other, and the rest part, than most other. Suppose SD, he is one of the best boys in the town. He is one of the best boys in the town. Here, actually, he is not absolutely the best. That means there are some other persons who are also best like him. So this makes a difference between the previous formation or structure of the superlative degree. Here, let me show you the comparative degree of this sentence. He is better than most other boys in the town. He is better than most other boys in the town. So, dear learners, if you find in the superlative degree one of the term, the expression one of the, we'll have to turn that superlative degree into comparative in this way. He is better than. After than, we'll have to use most other, and most other. After most other, we'll have to use plural forms of the nouns, boys, most other boys. And after one of the, we are to also use plural forms of the noun. And actually, superlative to comparative, it is very much short. Only 2 or 3 rules are found in this case, and I have already discussed them. And now positive to comparative. Positive to comparative. Positive to comparative, I have already told you, dear learners, honorable learners, that positive to positive here, positive has an opposite relationship with comparative degree. So, if positive is affirmative, comparative will be negative, and positive is negative, comparative will be affirmative. So, let us try to discuss. Here also again, number 1 rule. Number 1, as it is different formation, we will have to discuss in that way. Comparative is comparative, either it is from superlative to comparative or positive to comparative. Comparative is comparative. So, here, if we find, if positive includes, if PD, positive degree, includes no other. In the case of CD, comparative degree, we have to use then any other, any other. Suppose PD, positive degree, no other man is as happy as he. No other man is as happy as he. Here we'll have to bring the subject of the last part, that means he, in the case of making comparative, and no other will be omitted. In that case we'll have to use than any other, and next the word found after no other will have to use. Let me give you the example. He is CD. He is, as that is negative, no other, it will be affirmative. He is, no other man is as happy as he. So he is happier than, he is happier than any other man. Actually, the rule seems to be difficult, but when example is given, the rule becomes easier. Here you see the same thing, and everybody, so this degree of comparison. Degree of comparison is very common to everyone, and in our student life, everybody is to discuss and write answers from this degree related questions. He is happier than any other man, and singular, any other, after any other we'll have to use singular. Next, rule 2. If PD, positive degree, includes the expression very few, in that case, in the formation of comparative degree, then most other. We'll have to use, and let me give you the example. PD, very few persons are as, we could use it there, so both are right. Very few persons are as rich as Karim. Very few persons are as rich as Karim. Actually, Karim of example never dies. He is immortal. Very few persons are as rich as Karim. Let us turn this into comparative, and remember one thing, that we will have to use than most other. CD. Korim. Korim is richer. Richer, richest. Is richer than most other persons. Korim is richer than most other persons. And after most other, we have to use plural form. Plural form, so persons. Most other persons. Korim is richer than most other persons. Actually, the rule seems to be difficult, but when the example is given, that becomes easier. This is the system actually. A rule number 3. Rule number 3. This is very easy thing. As in the case of CD, it would be not less than. In the case of positive degree, if we find as as, we will use not less in the place of as and then in the place of another as. And this is the change, but other rest of the words will remain same. So let me give you an example. He is as talkative. He is as talkative as his father. Actually, according to international law, we will have to write the rest word or words from the beginning. His father. Here we'll make it CD, comparative degree. He is here and there, not less and then. That is the change. He is not less talkative than his father. Dear learners, you see here, he is as talkative as his father. He is not less talkative than his father. Actually, talkative, talkative is an adjective and which indicates that someone, talkative is a man who talks or speaks without any cause, unnecessarily continues to talk and talk and talk. She or he is called talkative. From talk, the word talkative has come. Rule number 4. Here, therefore is also very easy. Not as as PD and CD. Here less then. This is the change only. In the case of not as, we will use less, and in the case of as will use then, and other words will remain same. Let us discuss an example. He is not as tall as I. He is not as tall as I. The change will be only here, not as and as. He is here less, only less. Less. He is less tall than I. This is very easy as water. He is not as tall as I. He is less tall than I. Only in the case of not as, I have used less. In the case of as, I have used than. This is the only change, but other words will remain same. Next, the last rule of the of this last rule of positive to comparative, PD, as soon as, and CD, no other. Sorry, no sooner had, not then. You are also very much. This rule is also very much known to everybody. As soon as, it indicates positive degree, and no sooner, then, comparative degree. Here you see soon, positive form, PD form, sooner, year has been added, sooner. So that is positive degree, and this is comparative degree. Let us discuss an example. As soon as he saw me, he ran away. As soon as he saw me, he ran away. Dear learners, you see there are two tenses here, two clauses here. As soon as he saw here one clause, and he ran away, another clause. He ran, another clause. As soon as he saw me, one clause. He ran away, another clause. And we can see same tenses here. He saw, past indefinite. He ran, past indefinite. But in the case of no sooner had, I see CD, comparative degree. No sooner had he. Actually, after have, has, had, we have to use third stage of the verb, that means the first participle of the main verb. No sooner had he, here saw, she saw seen, she saw seen, here I'll have to use seen, me. No sooner had he seen me, here in the place of comma of positive degree, we will have to use then he ran away. Actually, as soon as he saw me, he ran away. In the case of comparative degree, no sooner had he seen me than he ran away. Here you see, had he seen, had he seen. This is past perfect tense. Here, the main clause we see past participle, and the subordinate clause here past indefinite, same, no change. That means the last part of the positive degree will be no changed, will not be changed, and but the previous one, the first person of the positive degree will be changed only. Here you see, no sooner had he seen me, that has been used in the past perfect tense, but the remnant part or the rest part of the positive degree kept unchanged. As here we see in comparative degree two tenses. One is past perfect, another is past indefinite. Okay, this is the positive to comparative. And next one, comparative to. Now I'll discuss comparative to superlative. CD to SD, comparative to superlative. I have already told you that the relationship between comparative and superlative is very friendly. So if comparative is found in affirmative, the superlative will be also in affirmative. If it is in negative, that will also be in negative. And if we find CD than any other or than all other, the superlative will be same. SD, subject plus verb plus I will have to use the plus SD form, superlative form of CD form and rest of the CD. John is talented than any other man in town. John is than any other man in the town. SD would be John is here more, much more, most. In the case of one thing, of course, yet I would like to tell you that if the adjective form is monosyllabic, we can use ear. In the case of comparative, we use ear, add, and in the case of superlative, we add the suffix est. But when the adjective or adverb is more than monosyllabic, greater than monosyllabic, disyllabic or trisyllabic or polysyllabic or trisyllabic, disyllabic or trisyllabic or monosyllabic, we will have to use more in the case of comparative and most in the case of superlative degree, and I am going to do that. John is more talented. That means John is the, and also we will have to use the definite article the before the superlative form. John is the most talented. John is the man, most talented man in the town. Here you see, John is more talented than any other man in the town. Superlative degree will be John is the most talented man in the town. This is very easy rule, so I don't want to discuss anymore about that. Anymore. Rule number 2. If CD, in the case of CD, we find then most other, in the case of superlative degree, SD, we'll have to use one of the. He is better than most other men in this area. He is better than most other men in this area. And the superlative, that means HD, will be he is one of the best, one of the best. We know good, better, best. Good, better, best. Better, it is in the case this is past comparative, and best, the superlative form. He is one of the best men in this area. Hi. After one of the, we are to use plural form of noun, and also after most other, we are to use the same form of number of the noun. Here, he is better than most other men in this area. He is one of the best men in this area. And this is all from comparative to superlative. Now, the rest one is positive to superlative. Now, positive to superlative. Superlative. Positive to superlative. Rule number 1. If P includes no other, SD will start from the last subject plus verb and rest will be completed in the example. PD, no other girl in this village is as no other girl in this village is as nice as Ruby. No other girl in this village is as nice as Ruby. Now, when we'll make this superlative, we'll have to bring the last subject to the first at the beginning of the superlative degree. Here, SD would be Ruby, no other. Ruby is the as nice, nicer, nicest, nicest, nice, nicer, nicest. Ruby is the. As it is superlative, we'll have to use the definite article the. Ruby is the nicest girl in this village. No other girl in this village is as nice as Ruby. Ruby is the nicest girl in this village. One thing, have you, dear learners, have you followed one thing? The positive degree is negative. No other. This is negative expression. No other girl in this village is as nice as Ruby. But in the case of superlative degree, I have used Ruby is the nicest girl in the. And here you see affirmative form. Affirmative form. This is a relationship of opposition between superlative and positive. And next one and the last one. Very few. If PD, in the case of PD, very few, at the very beginning, the subject as the subject, very few. Very few. And SD, in the case of superlative degree, we'll have to use one of the. One of the. Positive, that's a positive degree. Ali is, very few. It would begin with very few. Very few, very few, very few, very few boys are as bad as Ali. Very few boys are as bad as Ali. Very few boys are as bad as Ali. The superlative degree would be SD. Ali is one of the worst boys what did I write? Ali is one of the worst boys, and the rest part is any. Is it all right? Ali is one of the worst boys. So Ali is one of the worst boys. Bad, worse, worst. Bad or evil is the positive form, and the comparative form is worse, W-O-R-S-E, and the superlative degree is worst, W-R-S-T, worst. And dear learners, this was my arrangement today, and I think you have been, you had been with me for a long time. I am grateful to you. And you know, I have a YouTube channel that is Learn English with Ujjwal. Please subscribe, comment, share, like, and so you will remain with me. And so long you have been with me, and you have enjoyed my video or this session. For that reason, I am grateful to you, and may Allah bless you. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.